If you've played Jedi Fallen Order, then the music is likely something that made an impression upon you, as well as the incredible storyline and gameplay. And I'd be curious to hear from all of you as well if you'd be interested in composers Gordy Hobb and Stephen Barton ever composing for live action as well. But for me, one of the most unique tracks was when you walk into the Umbaren Fight Club Merciless in the Haxion Brood's lair. Today, I'll be breaking down this really cool music. My name is Derek, and this is Star Wars Music Analysis. Do it. So, the song itself is known as Sugaan Essena, which is what we hear be sung over and over in the lyrics. But it also goes by the title Black Thunder, and is by a band called Hu. And no, I don't mean the British rock band. This is Hu spelled H-U. Hu is a Mongolian folk metal band that uses traditional Mongolian instruments that I'll talk a little about later, and also Mongolian folk music melodies and references to old war cries and Mongolian poetry in their music. The name Hu derives from an ancient Mongolian empire known as the Hunnu, and the music that they play is self-described as Hunnu rock. The band was formed in 2016, which is surprising considering the quick timeline that must have led up to creating music for a video game that would be released just 3 years later. And I give a lot of respect to Hobb and Barton, assuming that they're the ones that had control over this decision to use this band, because it means that they had their metaphorical ears to the ground in terms of what's new and going on in music. Gordy Hobb went on to say that for something like rock music to exist in Star Wars, it has to sound both familiar and unique, which this certainly is. The song itself is intended to be about a warrior's heart and spirit being symbolized as the power of thunder, but you wouldn't know this by listening to the lyrics themselves. See, you'd think that this would be in the Mongolian language, known as Mongolic, but the lyrics for this actually come from a new language developed specifically for this song and the Star Wars universe. I find it to be a cool connection as well, that not only is this played during Cal's battle in the arena, but it's also the music we hear at the very beginning of the game. The first time we hear it, the music is actually being listened to through headphones by Cal as he works on Bracca. In both cases, this is music that's being used in a diegetic sense, meaning that it's actually part of the scene and being heard by the character. And so, it becomes one of the special times when we actually get to hear what music in the Star Wars galaxy sounds like, and it adds to the overall world building of Star Wars. Now, let's talk a little bit about why this music sounds so unique. The overall timbre and instrumentation is not something that we are used to in Western music, and that derives from the instruments like the arhus, mouth harps, and even the style of singing being done here. Let's start with the instruments from the arhu family. The arhu is commonly referred to as the Chinese violin, since it essentially plays that role in Chinese folk music. The biggest difference though is that it only has 2 strings instead of the violin's 4. Small glissandi and ornamental slides are synonymous with this instrument as well. The Hu then take the arhu and use distortion on the sound the same way that you would distort an electric guitar to create a very unique but metal sound. Even the drums here are unique, as they are a modernized version of ancient Mongolian war drums known as the guangu. These drums would signify the beginning of battle for Mongol warriors, and the deep yet piercing sound is still utilized today by many film and media composers for its barbaric feeling. The basic pattern here of strong-weak gives us a sense of something very tribal instead of the typically complex metal drumming patterns that we hear. Perhaps the most unique sound to this band though is the twang of the mouth harp. It's commonly referred to as the Jew harp as well, but this is very misleading since the instrument has no connection to Jewish traditions and in fact actually originated in ancient China thousands of years ago. It's played by holding the harp against your mouth and plucking the metal tab. The sound then enters your mouth, which is acting as a resonance chamber. By changing the size and shape of the opening of your mouth, you can change the pitch and sound of the harp itself. And finally, the most special sound to this band is the singing, and you may not have even noticed the uniqueness of the sound with everything else going on, but the singer is actually singing using traditional Mongolian style throat singing. I've brought up throat singing before when talking about the first Andor trailer, and it's something we've actually seen numerous times in different media like the prequels, Star Wars Pod Racer for the Nintendo 64, and now in this game as well. In order to make this sound, the singer manipulates their air passage so that different overtones resonate along with the pitch that they're actually singing. That's what is giving the singer's voice a lot of the distortion quality that we hear. It immediately makes us think of something ancient, tribal, and aggressive, which is why it's perfect for the arena music. And by the way, if you like this song, then you might also be interested to know that the band's second album will be releasing on September 2nd. And I would not be surprised if we end up hearing a track from this new album in the upcoming sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think of the arena music and the band The Hu? And what about the music of Fallen Order in general? Do you have a favorite track from this game that you'd like me to cover in a future video? Tell me in the comments down below, and before you go, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about the music of a galaxy far, far away. And as always, may the be with you.